I have a 9-day weekend. And I have so much I gotta do in that time. Hi, and welcome to Quilt Meets World, where we have adventures in piecing and joy. I'm Russ, coming into my sewing room. I'm gonna start today's vlog out with some life changing information. I don't quite know how to process it, so I'm going to be telling everybody I know to make them process it as well. On the beloved children's television show Sesame Street, there is this blue character that loves to eat cookies. I'm sure in the back of your mind you're going, oh, I know who that is. His name is. But let me tell you and stop you right there. Do you really know what his name is? I mean, I thought I did until I learned the other day I didn't. His name is Sid. Yes, Sid. Need proof? Here is a tweet from his official Twitter account, X account. Yeah, I had to question everything I knew in my life, whether or not it was truth or lie. Now, in everyone's defense, I don't think it was canon until 2017, and that's when they kind of retconned it. So the name we grew up with of Cookie Monster is fine, but learning that he has an official given name has given a bit of shock to me. Now, on to the fun part of life. Riley got to go play with Lulu this weekend, Friday at daycare. She was all excited. And Lulu was excited too, as she was told to simmer down as I was trying to leave daycare after dropping Riley off. She's normally a quiet, reserved, not really, getting involved in anything, but I guess she was very excited to see Riley. And when I went to go pick up Riley, she went to the window, as she normally does when she's at daycare, and says, "Thank you for bringing Riley to daycare." She's an adorable little pup. Her parents need to send her to daycare a lot more often. Percy was pretty quiet this week, though something strange happened Friday night. It was like 2 a.m., and the only reason why I know is because I had to ask my smart speaker what time it was. I woke up, I shifted, and then all of a sudden I hear a whole bunch of stuff fall. And I was like, the first thing in my head was, oh my God, Percy just fell off the bed. So I jump up, get the light turned on, and I have a laptop to the side of my bed on a TV tray that I'll work on some stuff before bed. And it was pushed all the way backwards. Thankfully, it didn't fall off. But I didn't see Percy anywhere. Usually, he, goes and bolts and runs downstairs if something startles him like that. I'm calling out his name, trying to figure out where he ran to and stuff, and nothing. So I'm like, what just really happened here? I go use the restroom because, middle of the night, I got the bladder of a 3-year-old. And I come back in, still no Percy, and I was like, okay, what's going on? And I just happened to look at the foot of the bed underneath where my blanket kind of just drapes down, and there is this normal hump that I normally see because that's like his favorite spot to sleep. And I pull up the little cover area, and he just looks at me like, what do you want? So I'm glad he didn't fall out of the bed. Still have no idea what happened Friday night. Maybe a ghost was in the bed with me or something. I have no idea. In my sewing room, though, a lot did not happen during the week because I was involved in multiple training sessions at work, and that left me with very little energy. And then, the remaining time that I was there, I was trying to get loose ends tied up so that I could have a nice, long 9-day weekend. Um, I didn't get in here until Friday night. So, yeah, I haven't really done anything until my long weekend started. I got in here, I cut up a whole bunch of fabric for Saturday's live. That's a little, cutting it short, but I've done worse. I cut a whole bunch of squares for Stephanie's, or designed by Stephanie. Is my okay? I don't have the cover page anymore. Her rock candy pattern. I know the cover page is over here somewhere because I just had it. There it is. I knew I had it right over there. Uh, so I cut out all of the squares for the 9 patches, and then Saturday morning I was very, very productive. And between a little bit of time before the live, that hour long during the live, and a little bit of time after the live, I got all 28 squares done. All 28 9 patches. There's another 28 hourglass um, blocks that I have to do, but I got everything done. During my live, I was like, I'm missing something, and that was because I did not fully read the instructions. It's all my fault, and it also explained why I felt that I had a few extra squares cut as I was starting to organize my colors into piles of the 9 patch. So once I get everything done, so I got them all sewn, I got them all pressed, I got all the seams twisted properly. It's just such a satisfying thing. And then this morning, it's oh, actually, no. Let's finish Saturday night. As part of what I'm working on this week, I have a t-shirt quilt that I need to work on for a friend of mine whose husband passed away. I received the t-shirts a couple months ago. I finally opened up the box because I'm like, okay, let me see what graphic tees I'm working with. So I know, am I going to put sashing on it? Am I not going to put sashing on it? Do I need borders? Like everything that was just, how am I going to put this together? Make sure he gets a good quality product back. As I'm opening the box, every idea that I had went down the drain. I said to him, I was like, I was expecting a bunch of graphic tees. What I got was a few graphic tees and a whole bunch of pocket tees. I guess his husband loved the pocket on the shirt so that he could put his phone in there. I normally keep my phone in my pocket, but I can see how it'd be more convenient up here. So yeah, it's just like that just threw a wrench in everything. So I pulled up EQ8 and said, okay, how can I do justice with the fabric that I have? And I came up with a design. I sent it to him and said, these are my ideas, and what do you think? And came back with, that's going to be pretty awesome. So I'm hoping that I can get it done well. I have a basically a fussy cut ruler on its way tomorrow arriving, just so that I can fussy cut the big. I think they're going to end up being 14-inch squares, 14-inch finished for the graphic tees. Just because one of the sizes was just barely too big to go into a 12-inch. So I was like, okay, 14-inch it is. And then I have to figure out, how I'm going to cut up the rest of everything. Because again, I want to make sure everything is giving justice to the person who is going to, the person who it came from, and making sure that all of the imperfections are included that he wants included. That's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, I'll really start that probably tomorrow evening or Tuesday, as soon as I can figure out what time my ruler is coming. Starting this morning, though, I recorded a video that should be released later this week, I believe. And the conversation is going to be what to do when you miss sew something. A few weeks ago, when I was working on my gnomes, when I posted a when I like I was looking at the gnome, I'm like, this is gorgeous. Didn't see anything wrong with it. Took a picture. Didn't see anything wrong with it. It wasn't until I started to put it in the video software. And this is one of those things that things have to be shrunk enough before you start to see where the pattern doesn't fully lie. And once I had it shrunk just enough, I was like, oops, there's a problem. One of the gnome's cheeks was twisted sideways, so it's like, do I leave it? Do I not? But since I knew how the block was designed, and I knew that I can get away with it without a lot of extra work, I did fix the gnome. It was this cheek that was rotated 90 degrees, and now it is fixed, and nobody will be the wiser except for the handful of people who watch this video. I'm calling the video microsurgery, and it's just a quick video to show people it's not quite as bad as you think. It does involve grabbing your seam ripper, but you don't have to rip everything out to fix something. Sometimes you just have to rip. I probably ripped, let's see, that's 2, 4, probably about 10 inches in total, which sounds like a lot, but it could have been much worse. So I want you to just look out for that video later this week. Haven't decided which day I'm going to publish it, but we will see. And then also today, I had to run to my local quilt shop to grab some supplies I needed. I needed to grab, I need to grab some more thread because I've been going through a lot of thread, a lot of bobbins. It's been a little crazy. But as I was trying to figure out, what I wanted to do, I wanted to change up the borders and stuff on the rock candy quilt, and I was like, I need more fabric. So I went to the quilt shop, and one of the workers there, love her to pieces. I love them all to pieces, but she gets my humor, and she's crazy with the humor with me. And she goes, "What are you doing here on a Sunday?" I was like, "I'm allowed here on a Sunday." And I told her the story about the quilt that I had to do, and I also told her that I completed 28 blocks yesterday. And she's like, "Well, that's awesome." I was like, "It's not just awesome. I twisted all the seams in the back, so when you look at it, it looks like quilter's porn." And you can just see the whole conversation. It just went right past her and then came around and hit her in the back of the head, and she busted out laughing. So throughout the rest of the time that I was there, I made a couple more references to twisting seams and everything, and it was really great. She had also asked if I was watching the Olympics, and I said, not watching like the games live or anything, but I did see, that pole vault incident. Google it. And I did see, the swimmer. And she was like, okay, learned about the pole vault incident thanks to trivia, but I don't know about the swimmer. So I showed her a picture, and she goes, "That's what I expected from you." I'm not going to share that picture on here just because it's a little out there. But yeah, I think he was a French swimmer. I don't really remember, but I may have a link to the picture in the description below if you are really that interested in how bad of an influence I am. before I get to goals, I just want to let everybody know that this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on my friend Shannon of Slay Art's channel, we will have the August episode of the Social Review. She said what the topic was to us in an email. I think it's like myths about quilting in YouTube. If I'm remembering correctly, I should have, reread it this right before I recorded this, but sometimes gaffes happen. But whatever the topic, you should come join us on her channel. Make sure you subscribe to her channel. Link to it is in the description. I'm sure every one of us is subscribed because she is awesome. And we will have an awesome conversation about said topic. As for the other goals that I have going on this week, I have just a giant list of stuff that I have planned while I have the week off. I have, a whole quilt I need to get completed, which I'm probably going to pick up the fabric either tomorrow or Tuesday. I want to get a couple blocks ready for some stuff. I have to get some stuff cut for this coming Saturday, because I believe I'm doing my Saturday sampler this Saturday, just because of the timing of the rest of the blocks. And on Saturday evening, I will be on my friend Stephanie's channel at 5 p.m. Quilting with Stephanie Stitches, and we will be sewing up month 3 of the Bumbleberry Pie sew along. And so I need to get a whole lot of stuff cut, a whole lot of stuff sewn. This week is Saturday sampler week, so I also need to get something quilted and bound. So after I get this video uploaded, I'm going over to the long arm and saying, I've procrastinated enough. I'm starting it. And I will be working on the long arm while watching my friend Steven with his Sunday evening live. So I think that is going to be about it. Maybe. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. I hope you were entertained just a little bit with my weekly shenanigans, as crazy as they were this week. I know next week is also, as much as it's going to be great having the week off, it's going to also be a crappy week as I look at my time hop. If you were around a year ago, you may or may not remember what happened recently. I'll talk about that probably later in next week's video, just so that I'm not, pushing it at both ends. If you wouldn't mind to do the things that the YouTube algorithm loves you to do, ringing the bell icon for subscribing, and actually subscribing to the channel, liking it, commenting it. I love to hear from everybody, and that would be very awesome. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and an awesome week. Until next time, stay happy and keep stitching.